Arthur, can I ask you something?
Of course. What's up?
How many times did you hit the snooze button this morning?
What? 0 times. I actually woke up before my alarm.
Really? That's impressive. I used to be the snooze queen. 5, sometimes 6 times.
6 times? Emily, that's like an hour of snoozing.
I know. But not anymore. I completely changed my morning routine, and it's changed everything.
Same here. You know what? I think our listeners would also love to hear about this.
So, hello everyone. Welcome back to English with Arthur and Emily. I'm Emily.
And I'm Arthur.
Today, we're sharing something super practical, daily habits that help us stay productive. We'll share our daily routines, honest struggles, and simple tips you can try today. So stick with us.
So, Emily, when we talk about being productive, I think the first thing people want to know is, how do we start our mornings? Because mornings really set the tone for the whole day, right?
Absolutely. I used to be terrible at mornings. I would hit the snooze button 3, 4, sometimes 5 times.
5 times? That's impressive.
I know. But then I realized something important. The way I start my morning affects my entire day. So now I have a simple rule. No phone for the first 30 minutes after I wake up.
Really? That must be hard. Most people check their phones immediately.
It was hard at first, but here's what I discovered. When I check my phone right away, I get distracted by messages, emails, social media, and suddenly I'm in a reactive mode instead of a proactive mode.
Reactive versus proactive. That's a really good point. So, what do you do instead during those first 30 minutes?
I keep it simple. First, I drink a glass of water because our bodies are dehydrated after sleeping. Then I do some light stretching, maybe 5 minutes. Nothing intense, just to wake up my body. And finally, I make my bed.
Making your bed? I've heard people talk about this, but does it really make a difference?
You'd be surprised. It's such a small task, but it gives me an immediate sense of accomplishment. It's like telling myself, hey, you've already completed something today. Plus, it makes my room look neat, which helps me feel more organized mentally.
That makes sense. You know, I have a similar morning routine, but mine focuses more on mental preparation.
Oh, tell me more.
Well, I also avoid my phone first thing. But instead of stretching, I spend about 10 minutes doing what I call a morning mindfulness practice. I sit quietly, sometimes I meditate, sometimes I just breathe deeply and think about 3 things I'm grateful for.
That's beautiful, Arthur. Gratitude practice is so powerful.
It really is, and here's why I do it. It helps me start the day with a positive mindset. Because let's be honest, life can be stressful. We have deadlines, responsibilities, sometimes difficult situations. You know, if I don't intentionally choose my mental state in the morning, I can easily become overwhelmed.
Yes, it's like you're choosing your attitude for the day. I love that.
I do something that might sound unusual. I write down my top 3 priorities for the day. Not 10 things, not a huge to-do list, just 3 main tasks I want to accomplish.
Why only 3?
Because it's realistic. In the past, I would write these massive to-do lists with 15 or 20 things, and by the end of the day, I would feel like a failure because I only completed 5 or 6 things.
Oh, I've done that too. It's so discouraging.
Exactly. But when I focus on just 3 important tasks, I can actually finish them. And if I have extra time and energy, I can do more. But those 3 are my foundation.
That's such a smart approach. It's about setting yourself up for success rather than failure.
So, Emily, what about during the day? How do you maintain your productivity?
Okay, so this is where I had to learn some hard lessons. I used to try to work for hours and hours without breaks, thinking I was being productive.
Let me guess, you actually became less productive.
Yes, exactly. My concentration would drop, I'd make more mistakes, and I'd feel exhausted. So now I use something called the Pomodoro technique.
I've heard of this. Can you explain it for our listeners?
Sure. It's very simple. You work for 25 minutes with complete focus. No distractions, no checking your phone, no multitasking. Then you take a 5-minute break. After 4 of these cycles, you take a longer break, maybe 15 or 20 minutes.
And this really helps you?
It's been amazing. Those 25-minute blocks feel manageable. I tell myself, okay, Emily, just 25 minutes of focus. You can do this. And knowing that a break is coming makes it easier to resist distractions.
I like that psychological aspect. It's less overwhelming than thinking, I need to work for 3 hours straight.
Exactly. And during those 5-minute breaks, I actually move around. I stretch, I walk around my room. Sometimes I look out the window. It helps refresh my mind.
You know, I do something similar but slightly different. Instead of strict time blocks, I organize my day around my energy levels.
Energy levels? What do you mean?
Well, I've noticed that I have more mental energy and focus in the morning, especially between 9 a.m. and 12 p.m., so I schedule my most difficult or creative tasks during this time.
Oh, so you're working with your natural rhythms instead of against them.
Yes, and in the afternoon, around 2 or 3 p.m., I usually experience a drop in energy. I think many people do. So instead of fighting it, I schedule easier tasks during this time, like answering emails, organizing files, or doing administrative work.
Impressive. You're really being strategic about when you do different types of work.
And this is important. I take a real lunch break. I used to eat lunch at my desk while working, but I learned that's not good for productivity or health.
Yes, taking proper breaks is so important. What do you do during your lunch break?
I completely step away from my work. I eat mindfully. I go for a short walk if the weather is nice, or sometimes I read a few pages of a book. It's like pressing a reset button for my brain.
That mental separation is crucial. Speaking of which, I have to admit something. I still struggle with one particular habit.
What's that?
Social media. I know we talked about not checking phones in the morning, but during the day, sometimes I find myself mindlessly scrolling through Instagram or other apps.
I'm not alone. That's such a common challenge. What strategies do you use?
Well, I've tried a few things. First, I turned off most notifications on my phone. Those little pings and alerts are so distracting.
They really are. Every notification pulls your attention away.
Second, I moved social media apps to a folder on my phone that's not on the main screen. So if I want to check them, I have to make a conscious decision. I have to actively look for them.
That's clever. You're adding friction to the habit, making it less automatic.
Exactly. And third, I give myself permission to check social media, but only during specific times, like during my breaks or after I've completed my 3 main tasks for the day.
So you're not completely restricting yourself, you're just being more intentional about it.
Yes, because complete restriction doesn't work for me. I need to feel like I have some freedom, but within boundaries.
You know what I find really helpful for staying focused? Is my environment.
Your workspace, you mean?
Yes, I've learned that a cluttered environment leads to a cluttered mind, at least for me. So every evening, I spend about 10 minutes organizing my desk. I put away things I don't need, I throw away trash, I arrange my notebooks and pens neatly.
Impressive. So you're preparing your workspace for the next day.
Exactly. When I arrive at my desk in the morning, everything is clean and organized. It helps me start working immediately instead of wasting time looking for things or feeling distracted by mess.
That's such a good point. Actually, I think this connects to something else, ending your workday properly.
Oh, absolutely. This is crucial, but often overlooked.
So here's what I do. About 30 minutes before I plan to stop working, I start winding down. I finish whatever task I'm doing, but I don't start anything new.
And then what?
Then I review what I accomplished that day. I look at my 3 priorities. Did I complete them? I write down any tasks that need to be done tomorrow. And then, this is important, I close my laptop or put away my work materials.
You're creating a clear boundary between work time and personal time.
Yes, because if I don't do this, I find myself thinking about work all evening, checking emails on my phone, feeling like I'm never really off.
I completely understand that feeling. That's why I have a similar evening routine. After I organize my desk, I also have what I call a shutdown ritual.
A shutdown ritual? Tell me more.
It's simple but effective. I say to myself, out loud actually, "Okay, Arthur, work is done for today. Tomorrow is a new day." It might sound silly, but it helps my brain recognize that it's time to switch modes.
That's not silly at all. It's like giving your brain permission to stop working.
Exactly. And then I do something completely different. Maybe I cook dinner, I exercise, I call a friend, or I watch something entertaining. The point is to clearly separate work from rest.
You know, Arthur, as we're talking about all these habits, I'm realizing something. They're all relatively simple, aren't they?
That's true. None of these require expensive tools or complicated systems.
Right, like drinking water in the morning, making your bed, taking breaks, organizing your desk. These are small actions, but together they create a structure that supports productivity.
I agree, and I think that's the key, consistency. It's not about being perfect every single day, it's about having these habits as a general framework.
Yes, because life is unpredictable. Some days things don't go according to plan, and that's okay.
Exactly. If I miss my morning meditation one day, I don't beat myself up about it, I just try again the next day.
That's such an important mindset, being kind to yourself.
Before we wrap up, Emily, is there one habit you'd recommend if someone could only change one thing?
That's a tough question. But if I had to choose, I'd say create a morning routine that doesn't include your phone for at least the first 15 to 30 minutes. Start your day on your own terms, not reacting to other people's demands.
That's excellent advice. For me, I'd say write down your top 3 priorities each day. It brings clarity and prevents you from feeling overwhelmed by everything you need to do.
Great recommendations. And remember, everyone, start small. Don't try to change everything at once. Pick one habit, practice it for a few weeks until it feels natural, then add another one.
Absolutely. Small, consistent changes lead to big results over time.
All right, everyone, it's time for our question of the day.
We'd love to hear from you. Here's today's question. What is one daily habit you have, or one habit you want to start, that helps you stay productive?
Leave your answer in the comments below. We read every single comment, and we love learning from you, too.
And if you enjoyed this episode, please give us a like, subscribe to our channel, and share this with a friend who might find it helpful.
Thank you so much for listening today.
Remember, small habits, big changes.